Comedian David Lucas won't apologize for tasteless jokes about George Floyd's police murder. Comedian David Lucas is stirring up controversy with his latest stand-up comedy bit. During a performance at the Funny Bone Comedy Club in Manchester, Connecticut, comedian David Lucas angered a few black audience members when he made an insensitive remark about the 2020 murder of George Floyd at the hands of Minneapolis police officer Derek Chauvin. Before making the insensitive joke, Lucas heckled a black audience member who shouted that he was the titty man during his routine. The two traded insults back and forth before the comedian fired off the cruel joke about Floyd's horrific death. "And you want to show them the reason why George Floyd got his neck kneeled on," Lucas said, which made the audience gasp in shock. "Don't boo at that joke. It's just a joke, man. I would have never kneeled on George Floyd's neck. I would have shot that N-word." Later on in the video, several black audience members could be seen walking out of the venue, visibly disgusted by Lucas' terrible joke. One attendee called out the burgeoning comedian for the insensitive wisecrack. "You need to know about George Floyd before you get yo ass up there talking about him. You really stoop low to be funny, don't you know that?" the pissed-off crowd-goer said. Several other offended black audience members stood up to Lucas, too. The angry attendees slammed him for using poor humor to make light of Floyd's death as they stormed out of the venue. Calm and collected, Lucas didn't seem fazed by the reaction of his fans. Instead of apologizing, the rising comic made another offensive joke, noting how he was just warming up with his poor joke about Floyd. "I like Kyle Rittenhouse, too," the stand-up comic shouted as black attendees left the Funny Bone ticked off. Lucas has not offered an apology for the insensitive comedy bit. On Instagram, the jokester could be seen promoting a few upcoming shows and a forthcoming comedy special, ignoring criticism from his controversial show. "Getting canceled ain't that bad," he captioned a photo of himself holding a fish. Lucas should have used his platform to bring attention to the injustice of Floyd's horrific murder and other issues impacting the black community. That's what Dave Chappelle did in 2020. 846 was a stand-up special released by the comedy vet in June 2020. The title refers to the length of time Minneapolis police officer Derek Chauvin knelt on George Floyd's neck, leading to Floyd's death and sparking widespread protests against police brutality and racial injustice. In the special, Chappelle addressed the events surrounding Floyd's death and the broader issues of systemic racism and police violence in the United States. "When I watched that tape, I understood this man knew he was going to die," Chappelle said in the raw and powerful special. "People watched it. People filmed it. And for some reason that I still don't understand, all these fucking police had their hands in their pockets. Who are you talking to? What are you signifying? That you can kneel on a man's neck for 8 minutes and 46 seconds and feel like you wouldn't get the wrath of God? This isn't the first time that George Floyd's murder has been mocked. During a racist rant in 2023, conservative talk show host Tucker Carlson joked about the late 46-year-old murder while discussing the tragic death of Tyre Nichols, the 29-year-old motorist who was fatally injured by 5 black officers in Memphis, Tennessee. White racism is getting harder to find. Very few unarmed black men are killed by white cops these days. Where's George Floyd when you need him? The Fox News host joked. Tucker Carlson invokes George Floyd's name in an unhinged racist rant. Very few unarmed black men are killed by cops these days. Where's George Floyd when you need him? If you like this video, please subscribe to my YouTube channel and other social media platforms too, my brothers and sisters.